later. Oh, sure, I give up. Okay. And there we go. Oh my goodness me. Hi. What a nightmare. Nice to see you. Good morning. Good to see you, YouTube, and welcome to the kind of new improved live streams and the workshops. We're now in this wonderful thing called OBS, which is why we've got all this scrolling stuff going on the bottom, trying to encourage you please to subscribe to the channel and also to tick the bell, and then you'll get the notifications when we go live. There's also the web, it's the mirror image is over here, the web link, so that you can find all the resources online for this morning's workshop. Now, you'll have to let me know if the comments are working today. I've done something slightly different with the comments. We haven't sort of put them onto the screen or not. It's all a bit complicated, to be honest. But you know, I might be sort of exceeding myself. Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me all right. Hope you've got your ukuleles with you today, those of you going to play. And if you're not going to play and you just want to join in and just listen, that's absolutely fine. You're all very welcome. It's nice to have you here. But let us know. Andrea. Oh, wonderful. Good morning, Andrea. Thank you. That makes me happy, because now I know I can see my comments. So please do leave me a copy. A copy or a coffee. I think I need a coffee. It was a rough night here in Perrocks Towers. What can we say? All right, the grandkid was up a lot, and we were on duty for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. But anyhow, yes, welcome. Welcome. Now, if you followed us through a link from the Facebook group, you will have seen that you can today, if you wish, download and print out the resources for today from the website. There's a link on the very next screen where you'll be able to go. Well, there's a link here. You can follow the www.UkuleleRocks.co.uk, and there's a link there to print out the PDF of everything you need. Now, you don't need that for today's live stream, because by the wonders of OBS, that is fast becoming a bit of a nightmare. But 3, 2, 1, there we go, we changed. So I've changed the screen a little bit today. So I got rid of the chat that was there the other day, so I'm a little bigger, the ukulele's a little easier to see, and in a moment down here you'll see all our resources that are actually printed on here. In other words, all the tab notation will appear ready for us to use. So what are we doing today? Well, we're going to do some chord melody playing. Now, chord melody playing kind of lends itself beautifully to the ukulele. It's where we can play a tune and a melody, and we can accompany ourselves at the same time by using the harmony chords underneath. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to use a very simple technique where we're going to use our thumb mostly to play everything that we're going to do today. We're going to do 4 pieces. 3 of them are original pieces from the UkuleleRocks More website. It's a bit more advanced stuff this morning. And the final piece we're going to do is the Drunken Sailor, which I'm sure you all know, very familiar. And we're going to maybe just try and push the boat out a little bit. A white fleck on my t-shirt. I have no idea what that is. No, I have really no idea what that is. We're going to maybe push the boat out without fingering a little bit. I have got a white look at that. Oh well, never mind. Never mind. It's beautifully ironed, as you can probably tell. Never mind. Okay, so let's get on with it, shall we? Grab your ukuleles. Make sure you're in tune. Now I've got my old battle horse, trusty Macala, today. I'm very fortunate. I've got lots of lovely instruments hanging on the wall here in the music room at Perrocks Towers, but this is the one that gets reached for the most. It's got nice strings on it. It's got Aquila lava strings on it, very soft. Alright, so let's take a look at the first piece we're going to do, shall we? And the first piece is called March by the Sea. There we go. And as it pops up. Now, in tab notation, a quick reminder that our lines for tab notation are meant to be our strings, but they are actually upside down. So the top line on the tab is the A string, whereas on the ukulele it is our bottom string, or string furthest away. The numbers refer to the frets on the fingerboard, not your fingers, the frets, or the number of times you've got to play it. Common misconception. So for the very first bit in March by the Sea, it says 00003. So that 3 means that we need a finger in the 3rd fret or the 3rd space of the A string. Doesn't really matter what finger it is, but it is easier for us at this moment that if it says 3, use finger number 3. Just makes it easier. Underneath that 3, you'll see them stacked up, some zeros or O's. I prefer to call them O's because it reminds us that O's mean that it's an open string. And if they are stacked up, it means it wants them all played at once. So actually, you might recognise that that first thing we're going to play is a chord of C. Ah, but what's the title called? It's called March by the Sea. We love a pun here in ukulele land. So that's our chord of C, all written out. After that chord of C, you'll find that we're going to repeat that A string note to give us our melody. So the first bar will do this. It will go 1, 2, 3, 4. So the idea is we have our harmony, our chord, and then we have our melody at the top, which is a very simple melody for this first few pieces, and that's why it kind of lends itself to being a march. So let's have a little go through, shall we? Find your third finger, set it up, and again using your thumb. Let's just try that first bar, just the first bar. 1, 2, 3 with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple as. In the second bar, now we have to be a bit careful here because we don't want to play the A string. You'll notice that there is nothing, there are no numbers at all on the A string in the second bar or the second section. All we're going to do is play our open strings. Now to make sure we don't play that A string, we're going to use it as a kind of safety net. We're going to play our 3 strings and land on the A string to stop us playing it. We don't want to accidentally fall through it. I always think it's nice. It's our safety net. So on that second bar, we're going to play the first chord and then the melody that sort of picks off after it. All right. Let's put those 2 bars together. The first bar and the second bar. 1, 2, 3 with me. 1, 2, 3. Second bar. There we go. Now, in the third bar, you have to be a little bit careful because we've got a bit of a jumping around. We have to be a bit more accurate because we've got to jump from the A string to the C string or the third string up, you'll notice. So in the third bar, it goes jump to the C string. I had a sneaky look then. I don't know why I'm having a sneaky look down. I think it's to encourage you to look down because I can see myself in my camera here right in front of me. So let's try that third bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I still nearly hit the G string. And in the last bar, you'll notice that we have 2, if you remember what we said at the start, 2 chords of C fully written out. Now, you may notice that they're not quite as close together. In tab notation, sometimes you can see standard notation, crotchets, quavers, to dictate the rhythm of the tab notation. That can sometimes appear, or just the sticks can sometimes appear beneath the tab. Or, if in this case there isn't any of that, the rule of thumb, it's a very generalised rule of thumb, I've got to say, is that the closer the tab numbers are, the faster in sequence you're meant to play them. So if you notice in the last bar, there's only got 2 chords in there, 2 tab indications, and there's quite a gap. There's 4 dashes. I tried to leave a measured gap between them. 4 gaps between them. So you could kind of think of them, there are minims or our 2-beat notes to play 1, 2, 1, 2. And in the first bar and the second and the third, we're going to be playing purely in crotchet notes or 1-beat notes to go 1, 2, 3, 4, because there are 4 beats in a bar. Alright, so let's try playing the whole of March by the Sea nice and steadily, and then we'll investigate the backing track. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How was that? Okay? It's not too bad, that one. I think you just got to watch that jump to the C string in the third bar. Alright, so let me just flick over here a moment and find. I've lost it already. It's going so well. Here we are. Right, and let's put the backing track on now. Make sure that's okay. So much jiggery pokering going on. Let's have a quick listen to the backing track, make sure it's all happy. Oh yeah, there we go. There is a count in. We're not going to come in just yet. Let's listen. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. And then we'll start. Okay, so with our ukuleles ready, let's try March by the Sea, and it is a bit faster. Let's be ready for that. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. It's quite a lot faster, isn't it? Okay, well, like I said, we're going to move on now, but you remember you can actually go back to YouTube and watch this and have a practice afterwards, or you can download the resources and print them off for yourself at home and practice them as and when you wish. So let's get rid of March by the Sea for a moment. Ta-ra, there we go. I love it when things work out. Hasn't happened much this morning. And we're going to move on to a piece called Steady As You Go. Now, Steady As You Go looks a little bit different to March by the Sea. For a start off, we've got 2 lines, and also you'll notice that I've written the chords out above the tab. Now the idea about this is that it just gives you a little bit of a heads up and a little bit of help with the chordal part of reading the tab notation that goes with the chords. So for instance, let's have a quick look through what these chords are. We start with A minor. A minor is your second finger on the G, or the 4th string. Mine sounds like that. How's yours? Okay? Good. Now, we then follow the chord of F, which I do like this, because all we're going to do is drop that first finger onto string number 2. We keep the second finger where it is, but drop the first finger onto string number 2, the E string, and we should get our chord of F. There's mine. How's yours? Okay, good. Our chord of C, which we've already discussed, 1, 2, 3 fingers on the A string. And then finally, this rather tricky E7. Now to get to E7, we're going to use one of our favourite techniques for transitioning between chords. We're going to slide. We're going to take our first 2 fingers off, and we're going to slide, that's better, from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret to make E7. And then we're going to put our second finger on the C string in the 2nd fret, and our first finger on the G, or the 4th string, in the 1st fret. And you'll see that that E7 chord is notated out in the last bar on line number 1 in Steady As You Go. That 1, 2, open, 2. Reading from the G, going up. That E7. Okay, so let's have just quite a quick practice through those chords one more time, and we'll do it kind of in time this time, in 4. So we're going to play 1 chord every 4 beats to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Alright, so let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, F. Now, to C now, to E7 now. Slide back. Okay, how was that? Alright, good. Oh, morning, Roger. And Fraser. Wow, wonderful. How great to hear from you, Fraser. Thank you. Checking in from Scotland? Absolutely. Good. Thank you. At least I know my comments are working a little bit better today. Thank you both, boys. That's great to see you. All right, so Steady As You Go. The melody part of this is not too tricky. Again, it's mainly on the A string. In fact, it's all on the A string this time. So even easier. Just let's get our head around that E7 at the end. All right, let's have a go. 1, 2, slowly go. 1, 2, 3. F chord, C chord, E7, and then the second line is much the same but with a different ending. Let's try the second line now with our A minor chord, second finger on the 4th string. 1, 2, off we go, and A, 2, 3, F chord, C chord, finish on an A minor chord. Good. And if you remember from previously, at the end of the first line, those E7 chords are split into 2-beat notes or minim notes, just to give that little bit of pause at the end of the first line. Okay, I think we did this on Tuesday, didn't we? Andrea will remind me, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure that when we did this, I tried to put the backing track on, and then suddenly remembered there wasn't a backing track, because if you press the backing track, this happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could do a little bit of pretending, because the backing track is just me showing you how the track goes, how the piece goes. So let's see how the piece goes. Let's do it together now. All of it from the beginning, please. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. There we go. And like I said, it's not too challenging apart from that E7 chord at the end, but that is one reason why it is called Steady As You Go. Alright, time for that to go. Bye. There we go. Good. And the A minor. Now I like this one. This is a minor lament, or A minor lament, because you see it's in the key of A minor. It starts and it stops on A minor, so it's a minor lament. So it's a bit sad. It's not a great pun, but it's the best we got around here, I'm afraid. Yes, and you'll find that these are exactly the same chords and much the same piece, but we just kind of halved everything. However, there is a learning point in this piece. In the very last bar, you'll notice that on the A string, it says 3 and then 5. Now, this is one reason why we don't equate the numbers to the fingers that much. When we're beginners and when we're just learning our basic finger, yes, we can, because we don't tend to use the 4th finger very much. So usually we're using finger number 1, 2, or 3, and we're playing in fret number 1, 2, or 3. However, in this instance, we need to get into fret number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which also, by a happy coincidence, is your first fret marker. Now, most ukuleles have got these fret markers at 5, 7, and 12. Some of them got them extra. I've got mine at 10 as well as 12 at fret number 10. And also some of them have got them on the edge. Oh God, this is poor battered ukulele. There we go. You can see that I've just got these edge markers as well on the edge of my fingerboard. So use them. That will help you find fret number 5. Now, another thing about fret number 5, which finger are you going to use? Well, it doesn't really matter. You can use your 5th finger and stretch. You can slide your 3rd finger. You can do any finger you want, really. I prefer to actually slide my 3rd finger because I like the kind of musicality, that little slide. Just a tiny little bit, but you could. If you just wanted to step through those notes instead. Anyhow, let's go from the beginning. I'm not going to practice the chords again because we've just done them in the previous piece, so really it shouldn't be too much of a worry. And let's just play through a minor lament. Ready? 1, 2, slowly, and F, C, A minor, up to fret number 5, here we go. There we go. I hope that little slidey thing came across nicely. It seemed to the other day when I did it. I've got distinct glasses fall out here. I don't know. Wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. There we go. They're all little simple pieces, these, and I always say I have a bit of a catchphrase. I make no apologies for them. I mean, that's 49 seconds long, that piece, but I do like it. I like listening for that little bass rise at the end of that last bar. I quite like the dum-dum atmospheric sort of play out. In fact, I liked it so much. Let's try it one more time. Go. I like it. I'm very happy doing that. I'm quite enjoying this today. After the stress of getting everything to work and the intro music, which I didn't think was really coming across. There's something glitchy about the intro. I think it's the streaming of the music. It was a bit, I don't know. I'll have to tweak that one and find out. There is one thing just to comment on before we move on to the final piece. Let's bring that back again. Let's bring Minor Lament back. And I found myself not explaining one thing. I don't like that. When you're playing these chords at the start, I'm tending to do what I call the thumb drag. So I'm dragging my thing slightly before the beat to go 1, 2. So actually we hit beat number 1 on the A string more or less, or the top line of the melody, with this thumb drag. Now, if you want to be dead on time, sorry, from the beginning. You might play it a bit more like this. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's correct, but it's not as musical as perhaps it could be. And we can always be musical. As beginners, we can always be musical, and we can make a good sound, good technique, and we can be musical. And that's why we're doing this thumb drag. And it works really well when we're doing chord melody music. So have a real careful listen to when you're playing yours, that you have got that thumb drag. I mean, even the last one. I keep diving out of screen, sorry. There we go. You know, a real slow thumb drag to really add that musicality to that slow down at the end. So, yeah, little thought about that. Okay, so let's move on to our last piece today, which is the infamous Drunken Sailor. Now, with the Drunken Sailor, you only need 2 chords. You always... This one, I say, love the backing tracks. Thank you, Roger. Thank you. It's great. It's great. Good. Thank you, Fraser. By the way, Fraser's got a YouTube channel. I've seen it. It's very good. Fraser helps people do this. Fraser helps learn about sign language. This is the sign for sign language. If you're a sign, and I do know a little bit of sign language myself, only a little bit, because I do have 2 friends who are both deaf. I had to think then, it's a long time since I've seen them. Tanvir, David, shout out. So yeah, so Roger, post Fraser's channel in the comments if you like, and then we can all enjoy it, because they're good, they're really good. There's lots and lots of little short videos. I enjoy them. I like them, Fraser. Good job, my friend. Good job. Okay, so finally moving on. Drunken Sailor. Yes, Drunken Sailor usually works with a minor key and then its major key just underneath it. For instance, so if you had C minor, then it goes with B flat. If you have G minor, it goes with F. You know, what we're going to do is we're going to do it in the key of D minor. What's it doing over there? Good grief. Hang on a minute. Let's see if I wonders of wonders. There we go. Is that better? Good, I think so. Oh, it was all G squiff there. Alright, so we're going to use D minor and a chord of C. And again, I've written them out just to give us a little bit of help with the reading of the tab. Not that we all need it, but you know. Our D minor chord, I like to finger it like this. It's a chord of F, we've done that previously, with your third finger dropping onto the C string in the 2nd fret, the 3rd string in the 2nd fret. And we have that typical D minor. Minor chords are typically sad. There we go. Not very happy, I'm afraid. Bit weepy. And it goes together with our chord of C, which as we know is our 1, 2, 3, makes your chord of C. You'll also notice that I've written out on the tab notation where those D minor chords come, and you could actually use it, like Roger and Fraser are doing, to actually just sing the song, to play the chords, to go, what shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning? There we go, I need to remember to breathe at the end. But we're not going to do that while we're doing our chord melody lessons this morning, because the idea of that is that we don't want to sing, we want to play the melody. And the melody is kind of hidden in the tab. Now that sounds lovely, and we could play just the melody, but we kind of want to accompany that melody, and that's what we're going to do here. There we go. So you see, you still have that Drunken Sailor song going, but you've also got the accompaniment chords underneath it. So really, because I have to follow the tab carefully and pick it out, but there are a few little bits that I think we should look at straight away. In the 2nd bar, when you have your D minor chord written out, you'll notice you've got it again. It's a little bit like that first piece where you've got to watch where your thumb's going to get from the A string to the D string, to the D note on the C string. There we go, just picking it through, yeah. The note's actually a D, that note you're actually aiming for, but it's on the C string, yes, my apologies about that. And also in the last bar of the first line, you'll notice all those open strings after the chord of C. So again, just some very careful picking there to make sure you get those right ones. On the 2nd line, in the 2nd bar, the 2nd section of the 2nd line, you'll notice we have our O, 2, 3, 5 on the A string. Now, you are going to have to move your fingers for this one, and I find it better to actually move my whole hand up a fret when we're fingering it. So you have your D minor chord at the start of that bar. First finger moves up to fret number 2, 2nd finger fret number 3, your 4th finger fret number 5, and really you can say that stay there for the next bar, as long as you remember that that 3 is for the fret, not the finger. So we'll keep our 2nd finger in there. Be careful where you're picking your thumb so you don't hit the C string. And to finish. So again, that 2nd bar with that new fingering, we're going to move our hand up. 3, O, 3, O, and to finish. Okay? Right, so there we go. So let's have a little go through it. Nice and steadily, and then we might speed it up a little bit, see what it can do. And I've got a little bit of an additional challenge for you. 1, 2, steady now. What shall we do? Drunken sailor What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with... There we go. How was that? Sounds good, doesn't it? It's nice sound. I like chord melody playing. I think it's good. I think it's one of the things that ukulele does really well. One of my favourite performance pieces, if I'm going out and about, is I've got I knew I'd forget it. Always practice. If you're going to do something difficult, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. Lovely melody, really good, and I've got a chordal arrangement of that. It's on my YouTube channel somewhere. I'll have to find it or something. But yeah, chord melodies, really nice to play. Let's try this Drunken Sailor with something hopefully we can play. Let's try it a little bit quicker now, and something we can maybe sing along, a tempo. If we were going to sing along with it, we'd probably be going, what shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do? I wonder if we can get it to that tempo, that speed. Let's see if we can. Ready? 1, 2, good luck. 1, 2, off we go. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we... There we go. That was really good. I found myself singing along to it, having a lovely time, and then realised I've just told you all you're not meant to sing along when we're doing chordal melody. If we want to sing along, we should have just done the chords. What shall we do with the drunken... So sorry about that. I do apologise. All right, so I talked about another sort of an advanced sort of thing we could do, something a bit more challenging, and I've got it right here for you. We're going to do a technique called double crabby claws. It's a start of finger picking. Well, it's more than start. When we're finger picking, we can usually start with just our thumb and our first finger. But for this, we're going to use our thumb and our first and second fingers, because we're going to do the chords at the start of the bar and on beat 3 of each bar, usually, with our thumb, and we're going to pick the melody with our fingers. So the first bar will go... You can see I'm lifting my ukulele up so you can see my first fingers picking out that melody line on the A string. Now this is a bit tricky, but give it a go. And there we go. Oh, I'm wondering if we've stopped. I wonder if we've gone offline, but never mind. Let's go on, we'll pretend we haven't. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come a stop to that now. Rocking up at 40 minutes as it is. I think it's probably YouTube's had it up, said, right, go, we're now offline. So please remember, you can get all these resources at UkuleleRocksMore.co.uk, or really it's best to start off through the basic site on Ukulele Rocks, and you'll see the links for the PDF. If you're not in the Facebook page, please join it. Let's get back to our big picture. There we go. And as it says underneath, please subscribe. It really does help me out. I've noticed there have been more subscriptions in the last few days. I really appreciate them all. Thank you very much. Does help. And I'm not sure when the next live stream is going to be, because I'm afraid life is kind of returning back to a tiny bit of normality next week in this horrible thing called work. But keep an eye. If you do subscribe, you'll get to know when the next live streams are. If you join the Facebook group, you'll see all the fun stuff and the joy and laughs, and the lots of videos being submitted to the Facebook group at the moment as well, which is really nice to see. I appreciate those as well. And that's something else you could be a part of. Join the Facebook group, submit your videos, and share your music, because that's what it's all about. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that today, and until next time, ta-ra.